So at the beginning of every new year, all of these analysts will come out and give their best picks for the year and stocks that they think will outperform the market in that year. So today we're going to be talking about Morgan Stanley specifically and what 10 stocks they think will outperform the market in 2019. Now this is an article I actually came across on TipRanks blog on their website, and I found it pretty interesting, so I thought I'd share this with you guys and create a video on it. Now if you guys are interested in this, you want to check out that article, I'll leave a link in the description. And don't forget to sign up for TipRank using the link in the description as well. Awesome service, absolutely free, and they're an affiliate of the channel. So what I'm going to do is keep this video short and sweet. I'm going to go through each of these 10 picks and give you kind of what the charts have looked like in the last year and what I think is going to happen for the stocks that I know for the following year. So the first stock on the list here is Alphabet, also known as Google, of course. So ticker symbol GOOGL. Google is of course a company everyone knows of. We all use the search engine. You're watching this video on one of their platforms, YouTube, and it's just an all-around strong company. If you look at Google's chart in the last year, you can see that it was down around 8%. And I'm in agreement here that 2019 will be a good year for the company, but I wouldn't really expect it to severely outperform the market. I think it's going to be a pretty good year for Google stock, but not one of its best necessarily. Alright, moving right down this list is number 2 is Amazon, ticker symbol AMZN. Now Amazon, of course, is a large e-commerce retailer. Everyone knows about Amazon. They're probably going to take over the world at some point. And if you look at Amazon's performance in the last year, they actually did pretty well here, up around 14% in the last year. And they well outperformed the market, actually eking out a pretty good gain for investors. And I think the story will actually be pretty similar with Amazon here in 2019. Now, obviously the stock has corrected significantly here at tail end of 2018, but you still got these massive gains even including that. So I think Amazon can offer a lot of potential for investors, and I'm in agreement with this pick as well. So the third company that we have is one called BIOMARIN or BIOMARIN, ticker symbol BMRN. So I'm going to be 100% honest here. It's a pharmaceutical company, and I have never heard of them before, but it is an interesting company to look at. If you look at their performance from the last year, you can see that the stock was more or less flat for them, up around 3%, but still outperforming the market pretty well. Now, I have no thoughts here going into 2019 for this stock specifically, as it's not a company that I track. Coming in at number 4 on the list is Expedia, ticker symbol EXPE. And of course, Expedia is a travel-based company. They own a lot of different companies like Hotels.com, for example, which I personally use often, and I love the service. So I think as long as the economy stays strong, it's another company that will continue to dominate in 2019. And if you look at the charts here in the last year, they were actually down 10%. And I think that this is a really short-term weakness that we're seeing in the stock, because fundamentally, I think it's a very strong business. And if the economy stays strong, like I said, I think Expedia will stay strong as well. But on the flip side, if we do enter a recession in 2019, I think that was mainly what investors were fearing towards the end of 2018 there. Expedia will be one of those companies that gets hit very hard because it's seen as more of a luxury item, and trips and hotels and all that kind of stuff is usually the first thing that people cut out when times are tough when it comes to their money. Alright, checking right along, number 5 is a company called ILLUMINA, ticker symbol ILMN. And this is a company that did incredible in the last year. You can see from their chart, they were up almost 20%. And what's even more incredible is that I have not heard about this company before. So I'm really curious, have you guys heard of this company? Let me know in the comments section. Now, it's pretty obvious looking at their chart, they had an excellent year. However, one thing that stood out to me was their PE ratio, which I think was a bit high, closing in at around 40. But that being said, this seems to be a stock, a growth stock that investors like, investors want to pour more money into, and it's definitely a company that I want to take a closer look at in the near future. Coming in number 6, another company I haven't heard of, and that's Intuitive Surgical, ticker symbol ISRG. So here's another company that's up big in the last year, as you can see from the chart. 16% is how much it increased in the last year, and the stock has been performing really well, and I think even in 2019 it's been performing really well, and I think it'll continue to perform really well in 2019 if it continues on this trend. Now, what I really want to point out here at this point is just how many companies so far we've gone through that I've never covered on this channel, and personally I don't even know much about these companies. So guys, just because you hear these popular names like Tesla, Apple, AMD, don't think that those are the only companies out there you can invest in. There's clearly many more companies that did really well in the last year, even with the market volatility. So if you take your time, do your research, you'll find some hidden gems out there. Alright, coming in number 7 is definitely a company that I've heard of, and it's MASTERCARD, ticker symbol MA. So MASTERCARD is an excellent company, and in a strong economy, this is one of the companies that does really well. As you can see from the chart here, in the last year, they were up almost 20%, and they incredibly outperformed the market, keeping investors happy. Now, MasterCard is not a small company by any means. It's a large cap company, but it still did really well considering all the factors that were incorporated into the market in 2018, like the Fed, risk of a recession, the trade tensions, all that stuff. MasterCard still did really well. And that goes to show you how strong of a business it is. Now, am I personally invested in MasterCard? No, because I do hold one of their competitors. I like the space. But that being said, I do think that MasterCard will continue to perform well in 2019. Now, moving along, coming in number 8 is National Visions Holding, ticker symbol EYEI. And this is a company that, again, I haven't heard of, but looking at their chart, they actually had a terrible last year. They actually underperformed the market and they were down around 15%, but we may have seen a bottom here in December in the stock. Now, this does look like more of a market trade. It does move similar to the market, but it does seem to be more volatile. So those upswings and downswings are a lot more amplified compared to what the market does. Now, again, I don't really know too much about this company to give my personal opinion on what I think is going to happen in 2019. But the analyst here at Morgan Stanley thinks that this stock is one of the top 10 that will perform really well in 2019. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. Coming in number 9 is a company that we have covered on this channel before. That's Palo Alto Networks, ticker symbol PANW. Now, Palo Alto Networks is an incredible company, and I absolutely love what this company does and the space that they play in. If you look at their chart in the last year, you can see that they did really well, up around 35%. And is so far easily the best performer on this list that we've gone through. Now, if you're not familiar with this company, what they do is kind of cybersecurity and firewalls, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of demand for that, especially with all the security breaches that have been happening in the last couple of years. So a company like this is in high demand. There were also rumors at one point thrown out there that Facebook may be interested in acquiring them, which I guess did boost the stock a little bit. But those rumors seem to have fizzled out and may not be true anymore. So I wouldn't make an investment based just on that. But it is an attractive company for another large company, maybe Cisco, maybe Microsoft, to come in and swoop up their technology because they are really good at what they do. Okay, and finally closing off the list is another stock that I have not heard of, and that's Pluralsight, ticker symbol PS. So that's what, 5 out of 10 stocks that I've not heard of that I covered in this list. So I clearly have a lot more research to do for companies that are out there that could be potential good investments, not only for 2019, but for the next 3 to 5 years as well. Anyways, looking at their chart here, they were up a whopping 47% in the last year, and I think we have a winner here when it comes for best performer in the last year. Now, the only red flag I see when looking at this company right off the bat is that it's a small cap company under a $4 billion market cap, which means it's a lot more susceptible to those volatile swings. And that makes sense when you look at the performance of the chart. It's up significantly compared to most stocks that we covered today, and it's up even more compared to the market performance in 2018. So here's a company that could potentially provide some great upside in 2019, but it is a highly volatile stock. So I would tread cautiously with this one and do your research in the company before you invest a penny in this stock. So guys, what I do want to say to close off here is that past performance does not guarantee or indicate future performance. It does give us an idea of the trend, that the general sentiment and all that kind of stuff around the company, but it does not mean that the company will perform well in 2019. Just because an analyst comes out and creates a list of top 10 stocks does not mean they're right. In fact, more times than not, analysts are wrong in these situations. But I still thought it would be interesting to cover this because there were quite a few companies that I've never talked about on this channel before and that you guys could actually take a look into, research some more, and maybe we can have some more discussion in the comment section about those companies. Now, if 2019 proves to be an awful year for all 10 of these stocks or some of these stocks on here, what you can do is you can take that complaint and email that analyst, which I'll leave in the link down in the description below. Either way, guys, hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something from this video. Comment down below if you're invested in any of these companies or what your picks for 2019 are. But either way, don't forget to invest positively, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.